Each of these legends are using the same trick to write great lyrics. In fact, this technique is so freaking sweet, I wish I'd picked up on it when I first started writing songs, because not only did it make the songwriting process faster and easier, but it also brought way more depth into my lyric writing. Now, most of us have heard of sensory writing. It's a pretty essential skill for any lyric writer. It's all about making your lyrics come to life with pictures and experiences that ignite the senses. But painting vivid word pictures doesn't automatically add meaning to our lyrics. Yes, we want to paint a picture for the listener, but we don't want them to have to watch that paint dry. And this happens when we add too many filler details. Details that might look and sound great, but don't actually add any meaning in the context of the song. And the best way to avoid adding these filler details is with what I call the Canon Method. It's a cheeky little trick that will help add more depth to your lyric writing, because it makes you focus on the details that are essential to the song's meaning and what you're trying to say. Okay, so there's two parts to this and you need to get them both right, otherwise you could end up adding in those filler details that's going to make your lyrics boring as shit. So to understand the first part, think of it this way. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker was a great movie. It had a well-known DC character in it, but Joker isn't part of the DC extended universe of Batman v Superman, Aquaman and the Suicide Squad. It's a standalone movie. It isn't canon. Now, when we're writing lyrics, we want to come up with lots of ideas, but we shouldn't treat all those ideas as equal. We shouldn't think of them all as canon, because there's going to be a lot of jokers in the pack. So after you've come up with a bunch of ideas, you want to only use the ones that are going to really work for the song, the ones that are essential to expressing the song's core idea. Here's what I mean. Look at Jimi Hendrix if 6 was 9.
One college conservative crashed down, pointing that plastic finger at me. Hoping soon my kind will drop and die.
See, back in the 60s, there were three main social groups: the hippies, the freaks, and the squares. Hippies and squares were conformists on different ends of the social spectrum, but freaks were non-conformists, and Jimmy was a freak, a freaky deaky golden diamond non-conformist that believed in his individuality and freedom. And If 6 Was 9 is a song about doing your own thing and living the way you feel free. So in the bridge of that song, when he talks about white collar conservatives, that was, for Jimmy, an essential part of expressing that song's core idea of individual freedom. White collar conservatives were canon to the If 6 Was 9 universe. Making sure your ideas are canon is a crucial first step, because if we try to cram too many ideas into a song, we're going to end up only skimming the surface, and that's going to mean our lyrics will lack any real depth. So to add that depth to our lyrics, we need to say more about less. And this is where the second part of the canon method comes in, because the word canon has more than one meaning. Canon is also a dance technique where dancers take turn doing a move. Think of the Mexican wave. Is that racist now? Anyway, look at how Hendrix writes about white-collared conservatives. Flashing down the street, pointing their plastic finger at me, hoping soon my kind will drop and die. See how he's using 3 verbs to expand on that one idea? And by doing this, he's able to say more about less, by using actions to dig into that essential idea. And now that I've pointed this out, get ready to see it everywhere. In newer songs, and in older songs.
I have run, I have grown, I have scaled these city walls.
Actions are a great way to express the essence of an idea, because nothing reveals how a person's feeling better than their actions. And when we do this, it allows us to dig into those essential ideas. We can write more about less. But we can do this with nearly anything. So the canon method not only lets us paint a picture, but it gets us to think about what kind of picture we're painting and how it's going to express our ideas in a meaningful way. Think of these words and ideas like acorns, because acorns have oak trees inside them. So start by thinking about what you want the listener to know. For example, in Tom Petty's Free Falling, she's a good girl. He takes the canon idea of she's a good girl and he shows us what that means. First, by expanding on her values. Loves your mama, loves Jesus, and America too. And then, by expanding on her personal tastes and affections. It's crazy about Elvis, loves horses,
and your boyfriend too.
And like I said, we don't have to limit ourselves. We can use this method on nearly anything, like questions.
Will you make us laugh? Will you make us cry? Will you tell us when to live? Will you tell us when to die?
And we can even use adjectives.
There was only you and me. We were young and wild and free.
Now after you think about what you want the listener to know, think about how you want that to make them feel. In Bob Dylan's song It Ain't Me, he canons the qualities that his admirer is looking for in a partner.
You say you're looking for someone who's never weak, but always strong, to protect you and defend you, whether you are right or wrong. Someone to open each and every door.
But it ain't me, babe. And notice how he's using the opposing ideas of weak, strong, right and wrong. Those opposing ideas are creating a vibe of tension in that lyric. The admirer is looking for something Dylan just can't give them, and we can feel that tension in the way he's canning those ideas. But you still need to put those ideas in the right place in the right way so they have impact and they're memorable. And if you watch this video next, I'll give you a really easy way to do that.